Before we continue with the analysis, I want to talk to you guys about JerseyFIFA.com, the home of all of the greatest football kits. Whether that's the latest home shirts, the latest away shirts, tracksuits, or even retro kits, Jersey FIFA has a bit of everything. There really is something for everyone, so if you are interested, then make sure to use the link in the description down below and head to JerseyFIFA.com. Hey guys, welcome back to the AJ Analysis channel, where today I need to start the video with a bit of an apology. Had a couple of days away from the channel, haven't been doing any videos, any recording, anything like that. I think you guys know I've been ill for the last week, and it's just been a bit draining kind of physically and mentally, so I've just taken a few days break from the channel. I'm still not there entirely, you can probably still hear it in my voice, and you know, my voice will probably go at some point during the video. Hopefully this week we can kind of come back with that full force, that full energy, full throttle, and really crack on, because there's a lot to talk about in the world of football at the moment. We're going to start off today with a Scouting for United video and Caicedo, a player which has completely taken the Premier League by storm this season, playing for Brighton. And yeah, it could have been different. A couple of seasons ago, what was it now, 2 years ago I believe, he was linked with a £4 million move to Manchester United. It didn't happen. People now kind of find it easy to look back and say, wow, United's recruitment is so bad, they could have got this guy for £4 million, and they didn't. It's quite easy to do that, I understand that kind of logic, but also, 2 years ago he wasn't ready to start for United, he wasn't in that place in his career, so he almost needed this move to Brighton to really develop as a player, and, you know, get that taste of European football at the highest level. But now at this point, he's had an absolutely wonderful season, and he looks ready for a big move, and one of the teams which we'll be sniffing about is definitely Manchester United, and rightly so. So the question is, if he was to join the club, where would he play? Well, let's be honest. He's not going to kind of play this 10 position, because it's not his role, and Bruno Fernandes is too good there. I don't think Casemiro is the priority upgrade in the midfield at the moment, so realistically he would be coming in as a left-sided central midfielder, a role which he has played for Brighton for pretty much most of the season. He's always been in a double pivot, it's just been whether he's been on the left-hand side or the right-hand side. That has been fully dependent on his partner in the midfield. However, even that, the fact he can play either side, is a good sign. It shows a bit of tactical versatility to his game, and kind of suggests that fundamentally he is very sound, and that is very much the case. So, what would he bring to this midfield? Well, for me, he would bring a real element of press resistance. He's happy to receive the ball with his back to play. For example, let's say Lisandro Martinez is rolling the ball into him here. He is comfortable receiving this ball under pressure. Sometimes he will turn that man and then carry the ball forward. Sometimes he'll just drop a shoulder and then play a pass to someone else. But his awareness is very, very good, and so is his tight control. In terms of if we're comparing it to other United midfielders, United don't have a player which is as suited to this position as what Caicedo is. He is very, very good and would bring a real technical security to the midfield. You know those games at the moment where United constantly overturn possession? Caicedo would go some way to addressing that, because he's very, very good in these areas. He's also, in a sense, press resistant thanks to his passing. So press resistance isn't just about, you know, can you carry the ball forward or beat a man? It's also about, can you receive the ball under pressure and still pick your pass? This is where Caicedo's really good. We all know what Brighton do this season. They kind of bait this press in, they then go into a midfielder, and then it's a quick pass to set someone else off, and then they move from there. Caicedo has been absolutely crucial to the way that Brighton have done this season. He has been one of their most important players in possession under De Zerbi. He is the player which they build through, which they go through. And whether that's under pressure or with time, he is very, very good. Given time especially, his passing kind of improves. Yes, his one-touch passing under pressure is very good, but in general, his passing when he's got a bit more time, also again very impressive. In terms of the volume of passes, we can see that he's completing passes in the 84th percentile, showing that he is a player which gets a lot of the ball. Short, medium, long-range passing, the completion numbers are all very, very good. Now, again, what we can see is that the short completed numbers are much higher, but again, that's down to Brighton's kind of philosophy under De Zerbi. It's a lot of short passing. But what we can see is that in terms of the percentile ranking of his pass completion for long and medium range passes, is he may not do a lot of them at the moment, but it does look like he's capable of doing it. So just because he isn't asked to do it currently by De Zerbi, it doesn't mean that he can't. So I think if he was to make the move to United, this is something that he would be able to do. He is able to kind of switch to play. His pass completion is very good. Again, currently United turn the ball over a lot. Caicedo isn't going to do that. He's very good with his passing. But he isn't just safe. He does have the ability to play through the lines as well. Something which I would like to see a bit more of. I'd like to see him be a bit more adventurous in these areas. But again, at the moment, he does everything he's asked to do really well for Brighton. As well as being capable of progressing the play with his passing, he can also do it with carries as well. He is quite a skillful player. Again, his close control is very good and can control the ball on either foot. So he is a player which will bring, again, an aggression, but more importantly, a progressive nature to the midfield. Now, again, this is something which we could see him do more. And, I want Caicedo, as he develops, whether it's at United, at Brighton, or a different club, as he develops, I want to see this in his game a little bit more. I think that could turn him potentially into kind of a more solidified and well-rounded 8 in midfield rather than a 6 if he kind of improves that progressive ability. But again, I think a lot of it is the instruction at Brighton. We don't see a lot of their midfielders being asked to really stride forward with the ball because, again, they like that short passing method. Personally, though, I think we have seen the skill set in glimpses that if he is asked to kind of take on that role of being a bit more progressive with both his passes and his carries, I think we have seen the hints there that he could certainly do it. And this could make him very, very useful. In terms of kind of systematically what this could allow him to do at United is potentially play in either a 3-1-6 or a 3-2-5, both shapes which we've seen from United this season. For example, if we put it in a 3-2-5, perhaps you'd have Casemiro dropping in here, you'd have maybe Dalot inverting from this side, and you do something like this. You push Shaw forward, have Rashford and Fernandes in the half spaces. We know that Rashford likes to come inside. Of course, again, always there's rotations. Sometimes Shaw would be more tucked in, Dalot would go around, whatever, but you get the idea. Could also turn to a 3-1-6 as well, when Dalot pushes forward. Again, you've got Casemiro in this deeper area between the centre-backs, and Caicedo in the midfield, where I think he's not quite there at the moment, but I think he has the potential to be a real metronomic midfielder. The midfielder which sets the tone for the whole team. High volume, we've seen that already. He does play a lot of passes. I think, again, in a different team, in a different structure, he has the ability to really, really dictate and control the play. And that is exactly what United need in their midfield. So, tactically, he fits. In games where it's needed, I also think he could replace Casemiro. We know that Casemiro likes a suspension or two. Caicedo could then drop into a 6 kind of in that situation with maybe Eriksen or Fred or Sabitzer, McTominay, whoever coming into the midfield. So Caicedo also brings that as well. And I think that is something which Ten Hag values at the club. A player which excels in one position, yes, but if needed to, they can move into a few different roles. I mean, we saw him playing at right back against United. Do I think he played particularly well? No, I don't think his understanding of the role was great, but it was the first time he's ever played that position. But I just think even the fact that De Zerbi trusted him to play right back in that sort of game against a team as threatening as United shows that De Zerbi thinks there's a real intelligent player in Caicedo, and if De Zerbi thinks it, I think he's proven that we should probably all be thinking it, because his knowledge of football is very, very good. So if he thinks Caicedo is a player which can play a few different roles, we've already seen him playing either side of the double pivot, occasionally as a solo 6, but also now at right back. He does seem like a player which is very, very intelligent and can pick up different roles. So, honestly, in possession, I think he looks really good for what United need. Is it literally perfect? No, because he isn't quite as, perhaps, slight as someone like, again, if we got to go back to it, someone like Frenkie de Jong. He isn't that sort of press resistant. However, I think he more than makes up for it in other areas. If United are to build a technically secure squad, Caicedo could be a massive part of that. Because also, whilst you may not get quite the same dribbling as Frenkie de Jong, you get a hell of a lot of defensive work. His high pressing is absolutely quality. Again, if we put United in a sort of 3-2-5 shape, let me just quickly make this real quick. Something like this. I'm really struggling with my numbers here. Hang on. Is that 3-2? There we go. If we put it in a shape like this, Caicedo is a player which is happy to kind of step forward and help the team counter-press. That's going to help United sustain possession on a more regular basis. Plus, you've still got the defensive security of Casemiro deeper as well. So that could really help the team in that way. He's just an excellent ball winner, whether it's tracking back and putting in recoveries, 1-versus-1 duels. Aerially, he's actually pretty decent, even though he's not that tall. I think for me, defensively, in my opinion, he is the closest thing that we have seen to prime N'Golo Kante. The way that he covers ground and wins the ball back, he's getting to that level. Also think like someone like Wilfred Ndidi when he was at his prime a couple of years ago. The way that he won the ball back in the midfield was just absolutely ridiculous. Caicedo doesn't have to do as much as what those players did because he plays in a more possession-orientated side. However, the second Brighton lose the ball, he's there. He is always there winning the ball back. He also protects the defence in deeper situations very well as well. He is excellent at winning the ball back. But what he has over a player like Kante or over a player like Ndidi is all of that brilliant stuff which he offers in possession, on the ball, which we've already spoken about. So yeah, to me, he just looks really complete. The talks are £60 million. I think it's not a bargain, because £60 million is an astronomical amount of money. But in today's market, when you see certain players, you know, what, Sean Longstaff linked to United for 40 million a few years ago, Caicedo is worth more than 60 if Longstaff is worth that. So value for money, I think it's there. I think there's going to be a lot of teams competing. I think Liverpool should be in for him. Arsenal will be. That was close in January. United almost certainly will be. City like to have a look at everyone who's good, as do Chelsea. So a lot of teams will be having a look. United should be right up there. I really like the idea of Caicedo alongside Casemiro and Bruno Fernandes in the midfield. If you build the right squad around them, I think that has potential to be real top level. So I think that's all I've got to say for today's video. Personally, I really like him. Again, I'm going to keep watching Brighton until the end of the season. One, to see Caicedo, to see McAllister, Colwill, but also just to watch Brighton because they are so good. They're so very, very good. But yeah, that's all for today's video. Like I said, apologies again for the lack of content recently. Even in this video, I can feel that I haven't got the same energy, the same perhaps flow at times, or what it normally would. Hopefully though, the next couple of days I'll be feeling better and we can kind of get past that. And like I said at the start, be back to full throttle content, because there is so much to talk about at the moment. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. I hope you have enjoyed the video. If you could drop a little subscribe before you leave, it would be greatly appreciated. I really do appreciate your support on the channel. But apart from that, thank you guys for watching. I hope you have enjoyed it, and as always, I will see you in the next one.